Colonel, good morning to you as always. So all eyes on Pakistan today. Vice President headed back, yet Iran saying they won't participate in talks under threat. You think there's any chance they don't show up to that table, sir?
I think there's some chance. I think there's a lot of pressure on them, particularly from the international community. If there's an opportunity for negotiations and perhaps a peaceful settlement, they'll feel a lot of pressure to at least show up. Their problem is that the Iranian government is split. There's the government itself, which probably wants to negotiations, but there are the Revolutionary Guards, and they're the ones with the guns who have been against any agreements and compromise. We've seen them attack ships. So it's not clear really who speaks for Iran.
Yeah. If they do come to the table, I mean, the crux of the stalemate has been enriched uranium. They're refusing to hand it over. We're refusing to let them keep it. So do you actually see any sort of long-term deal happening before this ceasefire expires tomorrow night?
Well, that's not going to be a long-term deal. We may be able to get a ceasefire with some structure that will then lead to something later. You know, a deal that covers
as in an extension. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's right. Because a deal that covers everything will take many weeks, probably even months to hammer out.
If President Trump were to agree to extending the ceasefire, how would that be read by Tehran and also the United States?
Well, Tehran has wanted to continue the current situation. They're not getting bombed, and that's, of course, important to them. And right now, they still have their nuclear materials, even though their industry has been badly damaged. So they want to string this out and freeze things where they are.
Yeah. Trevor, have you heard anything from the administration? Does President Trump have an appetite for a ceasefire extension?
Well, certainly he's got an appetite for it, if you will. A lot of that has to do with the price of fuel right now. We know that gas prices have potentially peaked, but there's always that potential that they could go even higher. And so I think there is a huge political incentive for the president to work out some kind of a deal that would end the fighting and bring some level of stability to that region, especially given the dissatisfaction that so many Americans are feeling right now, not only with the president's execution of this war, but also with the fuel prices that people are dealing with every single day. So, yeah, I do think the president is under a lot of pressure to at least work some kind of a deal, whether that's something short-term or an extension to the ceasefire as we go into these talks.
And Robert, Iran says it's ready to play some new cards on the battlefield. The director of the Defense of Intelligence Agency warns in a new report that Iran still retains thousands of missiles and thousands of one-way attack drones. Does that surprise you or, others throughout the region, just given how the Pentagon has repeatedly said Iran is militarily decimated and also how large our strikes and attacks have been?
Yeah, it has been a big surprise, I would say, to a lot of people here. I mean, especially as we watched the 12-day war play out last year. I mean, people saw the might of Iran in full display as, constant barrages of missiles coming this direction here. But that lasted 12 days. This go around here, I mean, you have seen Iran still exhibiting the capability to touch Israeli airspace up until the moment that ceasefire went into effect and on a consistent basis. That is a different caliber of weapon that is used to fire here on Israel than it is to fire on, say, Kuwait or Bahrain. So that has been a surprise. For the Gulf states, I mean, using those Shahed drones that they've made such a mark of, that's less of a surprise with the capacity that they're able to crank those out. I would say is that, I mean, the longer and longer this goes, I mean, you have heard, whether it's Gulf state members or people on the ground here who worry about exactly how much the air defense systems have in their stocks here and exactly how long they can hold out. For the time being, people don't have any concerns here. But if this were to turn from a 2-month conflict into something much, much longer, that is a growing concern. So it's something that is on the minds of people.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.